Hey, what up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. The Dodgers made a signing. We're going to dive into that in just a second, but quick reminder, for all the latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, breakdowns, and more all season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comments section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day: is the Dodgers signing of Hansel Robles something, nothing, or everything? Do you think he can have an impact for LA? Let me know down below. And for all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So no matter how big or small, a signing is a signing. So fire up that signing siren, because the Dodgers have signed right-handed reliever Hansel Robles. It was first reported by Mike Rodriguez, who tweeted out, source, Dominican Hansel Robles was signed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Robles, who was released by the Red Sox. And later it was confirmed that it is a minor league contract, so you'll see him down in AAA in Oklahoma City. And some of you may remember him from his time down in Anaheim with the Halos. He had some really nice years. Had a 187 ERA plus in 2019. In 2018, he had a 142 ERA plus. Last season with the Boston Red Sox, a 133 ERA plus. Now he's 31 years old, and he has had some sustained success in the show. 4 seasons with a sub-4 ERA, but he struggled mightily this season. I told my Red Sox fan after they DFA'd him on July 5th that they had DFA'd Robles, and his response was, hallelujah. So Red Sox fans were eager to get rid of him. And if you look at his numbers so far this season, a 5.84 ERA in 24 2/3 innings pitched, but he does have some impressive raw stuff, averaging 96.2 miles per hour on his fastball this season. There was a changeup, there was a slider. The changeup is more effective than the slider, and really the first order of business for Dr. Mark Pryor and Connor McGinnis and this pitching development staff with the Dodgers is to try to find a way to fix that slider. This season, opponents have teed off on his slider, slugging .594 with 2 doubles and 3 home runs. So they need to find a way to fix that pitch, and that is what the Dodgers are great at. They know how to get the most out of the slider from pitchers. Just look what they were able to do with Andrew Heaney this season. You saw the success they've had with Tyler Anderson. You saw how they've turned around the careers of Evan Phillips and Yency Almonte. The list goes on and on and on. And what makes him such an intriguing reclamation project is, 1, he still has that velo, and 2, he knows how to miss bats. He's struck out almost 25% of the batters he's faced in his career. That spans 427 1/3 innings. And when you can miss bats, you can be a weapon. That is what plays up in the postseason, because when you can strike guys out, you can bring them in with runners on base. You can throw them in to high leverage situations. So he does have that ability to miss bats. Now, the big issue with him is he does walk guys. In his career, a 10.2 walk rate. So they're going to have to try to fix that. You guys know what I always say: if you want to be the man, you have to have the command. So that's where I think the Dodgers could really help him, because it could be a release point issue. It could be a mechanical flaw. Something in there is not right now for Robles, and we know if anyone can figure that out, it is the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is this development team that has turned the careers around of so many reclamation projects, and he could possibly be the next guy. Now, the issue also this year is the strikeouts are way down. A career low 18.9 strikeout rate and a career high 12.6 walk rate. So he has been a mess so far this year with the Red Sox, but a very enticing and intriguing reclamation project for the Dodgers, and this is what they like to do. Andrew Friedman, he's gone on record saying that he does not like to pay up big. He does not like to have to part ways with assets for relievers. That is just not what he does. He doesn't go out there and spend big on his bullpen, so this fits the mold for what this organization has done under Friedman. Now, when it comes to when will he get an opportunity, well, it could be sooner than later, because if you look at this bullpen right now, they have been decimated by injuries all season long, and thankfully, like I said earlier, they did discover Evan Phillips, Dr. Phil. You did discover Yency Almonte. Guys have stepped up. You have had this next man up mentality, but you also lost Daniel Hudson for the season with that torn ACL. Blake Treinen, he's been out for most of the season. Will he come back? Will he be able to resume his role as the Dodgers' top high leverage guy? Then you also have Tommy Kahnle, who's been out since May with that bone bruise in his elbow. And then Brusdar Graterol, who really had looked like he had turned a quarter, just really throwing that slider with more effectiveness, using that cutter, locating that two-seam fastball, working both sides of the plate, changing eye levels better. Well, he's down with an injury, and we're still awaiting more information about his injury status and how long he could be out. Because if he has to miss significant time, maybe if they can figure out Robles sooner than later and get to the bottom of his issues, maybe he does get an opportunity here after the All-Star break. Because look, there's a lot of question marks with this Dodger bullpen. Guys coming back, the roles of guys that are coming back. What role will Dustin May and Danny Duffy have? Will Blake Treinen and Tommy Kahnle, will all these guys return? How about Victor Gonzalez? Haven't said much about him. So look, Dellin Betances, he hasn't figured out for the Dodgers. Pedro Baez, he's not even close to being considered to be called up to be a contributor. So this is a very interesting pickup by the Dodgers, a guy that still has some stuff that could play up if you figure him out. And I love that hesitation delivery that he has right there, and he has had some success in the past. So this has Andrew Friedman written all over it. I like the name. You got Hansel and Hanser. I mean, you just need Gretel at this point. We got Hansel and Graterol, so that's pretty close right there. So it's nice to see the Dodgers trying to make some moves around the margins to try to add some depth, to give them some insurance just in case some of these guys don't come back and perform well. And also, who knows, maybe he can be another weapon. Like I said, I do love the fact that that velocity is still intact, and I do think that this Dodgers organization, they probably already identified an issue in his release, and that's why they signed him. So they're probably just salivating to work with him to try to get him right. So if you ask me if this pickup will be something, nothing, or everything, I think with his success in his career, either he's been great or he's been terrible. It's either going to be everything or nothing. Maybe it could be something, but I think that it's really a low-risk, high-reward type payout for the Dodgers, and I think that based on the injuries of this bullpen, he could find himself in a prominent role if they could figure him out. But he really has been a disaster this season so far for the Red Sox, but we've also seen this organization turn pitchers' careers around, so I wouldn't count them out. And like I said earlier, if anyone can figure him out, it is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, LA also added a pitcher earlier in the week. They added Jake Reed. Yes, the Dodgers read the room. They added Jake Reed, and if you remember, he pitched with the Dodgers last season. With LA, he had a 3.38 ERA in 5 1/3 innings pitched. One game I remember is those 3 scoreless innings he pitched against the Giants when there was mop-up duty. And he really wasn't terrible until the end. So Jake Reed is another interesting guy, a big two-seam slider combination pitcher, and to me, he's more of a depth piece, doesn't have the high ceiling that Robles could have. So look, I know Red Sox are happy that Robles is done with the Sox and that they don't think that he'll do much with the Dodgers. But look, I mean, like I said, I think the Dodgers, they have already probably identified something in him that they think they could correct. Otherwise, I don't think they would have taken a flyer on him. Also, another thing I want to mention too is the fact that Andrew Friedman is making these moves to pick up the Jake Reeds, to pick up the Robleses and guys like that. It tells me that they're not going to go after a reliever, which I fully expected, because that's not what Andrew Friedman does. But what he does do is you start to see these moves around the margins that are kind of the precursor to a bigger move that could be on the way. And I definitely think you're seeing them explore that at the moment. To me, you know, I want the big fish. I want Luis Castillo on the Dodgers. He was dealing last night in New York City. He was fantastic, took a no-hitter late into that one. And I think they saw last night that Luis Castillo, he has that filthy stuff that'll play up against the best lineup in baseball. He shut them down in their house despite poor defense behind him and a bad umpire. So Luis Castillo showed the Dodgers last night that, hey, if you're going to face the Yankees in the World Series, let's say you're going to be on the road, I could be your game one starter and go in there and shove in game one and help you get that dub. So to me, that's what's going on with the Dodgers brain trust at the moment. They're looking for the big fish. I think either they get Castillo or Montas if he's right, or they're going to stand pat, because there's no other pitchers that are available right now that would replace anyone in the current rotation. But they realize that a pitcher of Castillo or Montas's caliber would be good enough to take up a spot in the Dodgers postseason rotation, and then you could bump someone back into the bullpen. But let me know down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts on the Dodgers signing Hansel Robles and Jake Reed? Do you think this might be a precursor of a big move that could be on the way? Let me know down below. My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For our latest Dodgers news, rumors, high videos, interviews, breakdowns, and more all season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.